Well, good afternoon everybody. Happy Friday. I can't believe it's Friday again. The weeks seem to go by so fast. But it is Friday and I'm here to do another live session with you and very pleased to be here indeed. As always, I'm just going to check my iPad and see if I really am live. I've got the little red notice that says I'm live, but you never know till you see it, do you? So let's just check on that. Where are we? Let's turn the volume down for a start. Okay, let's see if I'm there. Looks like I am. Fabulous. Okay. Right. Okay, so I can see that Marjorie's here. Welcome, welcome, Marjorie. If anybody else is here, please say hello. Sometimes Facebook tells me that you're here and tells me who you are. Very often it does not, so I can never be sure, but you're very welcome. So technically, I'm on holiday this week. I'm on holiday next week as well. I've gone wild and taken 2 weeks off, but I thought that instead of missing 2 live sessions, I would just miss the one. So I'm here this week, but I won't be here next week. So please don't tune in on Friday next week because there won't be anything showing. I thought it would be fun to revisit some of the Sale-a-Bration items. I did some Sale-a-Bration project making back at the beginning when Sale-a-Bration was just starting, and I've done another session on it since with the fabulous sparkly paper, but I thought today I would use some other things because the end of September is going to be here before we know it, and then it's going to be too late to get these things. So I want to inspire you now so you've got time to get them and do some crafting with them. All right, so things to tell you about. Well, I thought I would tell you a little bit about the first week of my holiday. It's very much a staycation. Not only am I staying in the UK, but I'm staying in Portmore. So I have been at home, but it has been very, very nice not to have to get up in the morning. I must admit I tend to wake up at my usual time, but at least I haven't had to do that. What have I done? I've had my hair cut. That's always a treat, isn't it? Even more so now. I appreciate it far more than I used to. I've gone back to my very first live yoga class since March last year. I've been doing classes with my same yoga teacher online the whole time and they've been fantastic. But oh my goodness, it's so much nicer to do yoga live with a teacher in front of you and other people around you. So that was fantastic. What else have I been doing? I've been doing lots of reading in the garden. We've had lots of sunny weather, so it's been a real luxury for me to be able to just sit out there and read until I've finished my book or until I've had enough, rather than snatching 10 minutes here and there. And you may have seen one of the photos I posted, which was where I treated myself to an ice cream. We've got a local flooded gravel pit here, Hatchet Pond. It's been a pond for a very long time, since before I was here. And I treated myself to an ice cream there on a hot day. That was very, very nice. Watched some of the birds. There's always all sorts of wildlife there. And I've also done some crafting for fun. I love my job. I love my job so much because I get to craft every single day. But generally I'm crafting for classes, for social media posts, for tutorials, whatever. But I've actually done some crafting just for the fun of it, and that's always good too. So Marjorie's saying hello to everybody. I can't see if anybody else is here yet, but if you are, do say hello. All right, things to remind you about. I've already said Sale-a-Bration ends at the end of September on the 30th, so don't let that date come and go without you realising. I will show you some pictures in just a moment, but you can order a new all-inclusive kit, the Christmas Whimsy kit. If you've seen my business Facebook page today, I put a video there where you can actually see all the components, you can see how the cards make up and pick up some hints and tips along the way. It's a really sweet little Christmas card kit. It would be perfect to do with children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews. Really nice to buy 1 or 2 in and have them ready for when the evenings draw in or the weekends are not dry and you're wondering what to do with yourself. All Stampin' Up kits are while stocks last, so if you think you would like to make some of these Christmas cards, don't wait till December to buy the kit because you may find that they've all gone by then. The kit is £18 and it's got all the components for your cards in it, plus a really useful stamp set with essential Christmas greetings on it and stars and other bits and pieces as well that you're going to use again and again on all kinds of crafting. It's got a little mini ink pad, there's all kinds of things in there, and there's absolutely everything, including glue, to make all your cards up. The only thing you need to add is a pair of scissors. So they're also perfect if you're traveling, if you've got a long train journey ahead of you, if you're going to have to be doing anything where you haven't got access to your craft room but you'd like to have a little bit of crafting to do. Maybe you're going away to a caravan or a holiday home now the children have gone back to school. Anything like that, it's perfect to take with you. Everything fits in a really nice sturdy box. You just pack the box, tuck your scissors in there, and you've got your crafting sorted. So fabulous. I'm taking bookings now for my card classes for next month. So that's my in-person card class and my card class by post, and also for my fancy fold cards class for October. So if you're interested in those, drop me a line. I can send you all the information. Hi Belinda, lovely to have you here. And what else to tell you? Oh, if you're interested in the Blackberry Beauty Suite sampler, so that gives you some of the pattern paper, coordinating card, some ribbon and embellishments, then you can still order that from me as well. If you want any information, let me know. I've shown it, I think, the last couple of live sessions I've done. Okay, and yes, reminder that I won't be here next week. Okay, so I'm going to turn this down to my desk. I'm going to play with the settings and try and get everything so you can see it. I'm still learning this new setup, so I'll try and get it right first time. Sometimes I don't, so bear with me. I'll just cover you over so you don't get seasick. Okay. I think that is the right setting, but we will see. I might have to change that when I have changed all this round. Okay. All right, so let that catch up. That doesn't seem quite right to me, but we'll see. Let me try and adjust things just a little bit more. Okay, you've got lots of me there. That's no good. You want my table, don't you? Let's try moving that. That looks a little bit better. Okay, still seeing too much of me. All right, let me see what I can do about that. I'm going to cover you over again so don't make you sick. I have no idea why you're seeing so much of my midriff and so little of my table, but these things take a little bit of getting used to, don't they? Let me adjust. Okay. All right, take it off and have another look here. So did I say hello to Belinda, haven't I? Gillian's here. Gillian says there's no sound and I've frozen. It must have been that ice cream. That's not good, Gillian. Can anybody else tell me if there are any problems? Oh, and I'm back in and I'm okay now. Thank goodness for that. All right, you can still see quite a lot of me. Let me... Let's try fiddling again. Okay, this might work better. Is that any better? Again, I've got to wait for my iPad to catch up. I actually took a photograph of my setup, and I've set up, I thought, exactly as I did last time, but obviously not. So anyway, I think that is probably about as good as I'm going to get it today. I'm going to have to play around again, aren't I? I thought I'd got this sorted. Right, let me just clip my wires a little bit more out of the way. Okay, is everything the right way round? No, it's, oh, it is. Yes, it is round the right way. Good. Okay, so I was just going to show you, this is the Christmas with Whimsy card kit. You can see it illustrated on page 6 of your autumn and winter catalogue. And you can see the little cards you can make. You've got these pretty foiled envelopes. all sorts of little iridescent sequins. Some are snowflakes, some are stars. Very pretty little kit, that one. So yes, I recommend that. All right, I'm going to pop that out of the way. And I'm going to reach down and grab the first project. So I thought that I would start off with this stamp set, Textures and Frames. So this is what they're calling a sort of a first level free item. So if you spend £45, you can choose this as your free item should you so wish. And there are lots of others in the Sale-a-Bration brochure that you can also pick free with a £45 spend. I haven't played with this one as much as I had hoped to, but I will be able to do some more while I'm on holiday, which is always nice to see. So let me pull out some bits and pieces here. That angle is still very odd. I'm sorry. I hope you can all see what I'm doing well enough. Okay, so Textures and Frames. As it suggests, you've got some frames on here, and then you've got other stamps which are just going to give you different textures, and I always do love an ink spatter stamp. I always think that's really, really useful. The stamps are photopolymer, which means that I'm going to be popping a stamping mat underneath my paper just to give myself a little bit of extra cushioning while I'm working. Okay, so Belinda's saying she ordered some kits yesterday, the Christmas one that I've just been talking about and the one that coordinates with Artistically Inked, and it's coming on Monday. Well, I hope it does, Belinda. Fantastic. Yes, I will be getting the one that coordinates with Artistically Inked. That looks absolutely beautiful. I had forgotten actually that it's now available. So if you like the Artistically Inked suite, then you're definitely going to love this kit. And when I've got mine, I will be able to show you. All right, so I'm opening up my ink pads here. I'm not going to show you what I'm doing first. I'm just going to get on and stamp. I thought that would make a change. I'll give you the measurements in a moment. Or I'll give you the measurements at the end actually. The first thing I'm going to do is put my happy birthday on here, and then I know I can play with all the rest of the space. And I'm taking my words from this stamp set, Biggest Wish, which I've used ever such a lot. I love the fact that you've got two different fonts and you can use happy birthday in one and the same font, or you can mix and match them. So I've had a lot of fun with this. So I've got the block capitals happy birthday. You probably can't see that till I ink it. This one here for happy, sorry. And I've got the script for birthday. My ink colours are Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Magenta Madness and Blackberry Bliss. I always feel like it's a bit of a risk if I decide to pick up my Blackberry Bliss ink pad, because I always seem to get it everywhere, but I'm going to try really hard today not to. Okay, so I've now got Mango Melody all over my card. I've even got some green there. I must have messy ink pad boxes, I think. Right, so let's start with a bit of a clean up. Please tell me you do this too. It's not just me. Right. Okay, Belinda's saying she thinks the Christmas kit should coordinate with Whimsy and Wonder. So that of course is in the July to December mini, and I don't have that suite, but I think you're probably right with given the names. I will have to have a look at it and see, Belinda, so that's prompted me to make sure that I do that. All right, so I'm going to pick a paler colour and a darker colour to stamp these. So I'm going to stamp my Happy in Granny Apple Green. Down in this right hand corner, I'm working on a landscape orientation for my card. So that's the Happy, and then I'm going to do Birthday in Blackberry Bliss and just stamp that over the top. I'm now going to move my Blackberry Bliss ink pad well out of the way so that I don't lean on it by accident. So now I'm going to bring in this sort of brush strokes image, which is this one, and I'm going to stamp, I don't know, a couple probably of these, and I'm going to orient them in different ways. Now the circles one, I think you can stamp all over the place and not worry too much about which way round you've got those circles. But for me at least, the ones with the more straight lines in them look better either more or less vertically or more or less horizontally. That's just me. It doesn't mean I'm right, but for my eye, that's what I like to do. And I'm going to use a different ink colour with the same stamp, so that means I must clean my stamp first. So I've just got my scrub here. Put some stamping mist on that. Take the worst of the leftover ink off first on my scrap paper, and then clean it one side and then dry it this side that I didn't put the mist on. All right, so I'm now going to come in with Magenta Madness. I love bright pink, it's my favourite colour. And let's do a couple of those. Clean my stamp. And then finally some Granny Apple Green. So all I'm doing is spacing these out, alternating the orientation of them. I'm not trying to do anything in particular, I'm being pretty random. Let's do that one there, I think. All right, so now I'm going to put some outlines on them using this rectangular frame stamp, and I'm going to bring back my Blackberry Bliss ink. And this is just, it's an approximate frame. You don't have to be super accurate with this, which I really like. So I'm just adding a bit of definition around these rectangles. There we go. Now you can pick, obviously, any colours you like for this kind of stamping. Just pick some that coordinate. You could stick with a colour scheme that was all blues or all greens. You could mix and match like I've done. I love bright colours, so I've picked some really, really bright colours here. I'm just going to close these up so I don't lean on them and clean that stamp as well. And you can also do this on a much larger piece of card, forget the greeting, and just stamp all over, and you're effectively making your own patterned paper that way. And then you can cut that down and it will look fantastic for all kinds of projects. Right, I'm going to find my glue. So Belinda's saying that when her eyes have recovered from her cataract operation, and she's got another one coming up for the other eye, she's going to have a go at whether seeing how well the Christmas Whimsy kit coordinates with the Whimsy and Wonder suite, which is all a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? She's got some cheap reading glasses, which is temporarily improving her close vision, but she can't work with them for very long. Okay, so I've just mounted that stamping on a piece of Mango Melody card, and I'm now going to add it to a Granny Apple Green card base. So I'm just picking card colours from the ink colours that I chose. And then I have an insert here. So I'm going to, which one shall I pick? Blackberry Bliss on there, look. I tell you, that ink, honestly, it gets everywhere. I'm going to pick my Magenta Madness. Clean this stamp up because that still looks like it's got green on it. It's better. And just do a piece on the insert. And then I'm going to do a Blackberry Bliss outline. And then I'm going to stamp those words inside just as I did on the front of the card. Thank you, Gillian. I'm glad you like it. Right. Okay, let's pop that inside my card. And then I've got another one I made earlier with different colours and that I used the circles on, which I will also show you so that you've got a couple of ideas. It's the same idea but just done slightly differently. There we are, and I'll give you the measurements too. So there we are. I think both of those hopefully have fitted in. Yeah, you can see both of those, I think. So this one, I've used Bermuda Bay card with a layer of Night of Navy, and my ink colours are Bermuda Bay, Coastal Cabana, So Saffron, and the outlines for the circles are Night of Navy. But you can see that it's essentially exactly the same card. I've just stamped at random the solid image with several different colours and then given them an outline and then just layered them up. This thanks is from Biggest Wish, exactly the same set again. So Marjorie's saying that if Belinda's order comes on, when did she say it was coming? Monday, then that will be rapid delivery. She's still waiting for one from the 1st of September. I'm waiting for one from the 30th of August, Marjorie. I think there is a bit of an issue at the moment. I don't know if it's lorry drivers, I don't know if it's people coming down with COVID, meaning that UPS are short of people, or what it is. I'm afraid it's a bit frustrating, so I'm sorry you're still waiting. Your parcel will get to you, but the timing seems to be a little bit off, and UPS have still not amended their tracking notification system to account for the fact that Brexit happened, let alone COVID happened. So we still get notifications with the same intervals between them that we did pre-Brexit, and you know, they're wrong basically. So it's very frustrating. They have had it fed back to them. I wouldn't like to guess how many times, but nothing's changed yet. I suspect because it's probably a little bit complicated to amend their computer system, they are waiting until they are sure what the new time frames are before they actually get the programmers in to change it all. But that's only my guess. Nobody's told me that. But anyway, yeah, Belinda's saying it seems to be a bit variable. I'm afraid it is a bit variable. As long as you can see it on the tracking, it's not been lost, it's just waiting to get to you. And I'm so sorry that things are taking a bit longer. Sometimes they work really efficiently, sometimes they don't. Okay, so those then are two cards with the Textures and Frames set. I think they really lend themselves to bold colours, but you could also do them in very pale, subtle colours if you preferred. And oh, I promised you the layers, didn't I? The measurements. So my card base is my standard card base, 8 inches by 5 3/4. That's for this one. For the landscape card, I've forgotten to put that one on here. It's 4 by 5, 10, 11 and a half inches, scored at 5 3/4 inches. There we go, but all the other layers are the same. So my contrast card layer is 5 3/8 of an inch by 3 5/8 of an inch. The layer I use for my stamping is 5 1/4 by 3 1/2 inches. and my insert is 5.5 by 3 3/4 inches. I'm glad you like those, Belinda. Yeah, very easy technique, particularly as they are photopolymer stamps, so you can see exactly where you're stamping every time. Okay, so let me clear some of this away and I will bring in the next project. Just have to move my microphone to reach down to the floor. Okay, leads going everywhere again. Let's do something about that. Oops, not very effectively. Let's try again. Okay, see if that works any better. It might do. Okay. So this time I thought I would do something with the Delicate Dahlias. This is a double stamp set. And so it's for a £90 spend. So you could choose 2 of the lower value free items, or you could choose this one, which is a double set. I do really like this. My husband's growing dahlias in the garden this year. And they're a little bit late, but other than that, they're beautiful. And I've really been enjoying them. I love the bright colours and, you know, the really big, vibrant blooms. So I've been enjoying using this stamp set as well. So this time I'm going to show you my first sample, and I'm going to make one that's similar but has a little bit of a twist to it. So this one, my colours are Cajun Craze and Pumpkin Pie. So I stamped my card base using the outline dahlia image, and then on my white I stamped that image again, and in all those cases I've used Cajun Craze ink, and then I used the image that fills the flower in with Pumpkin Pie ink on it, and then I used a finger dauber and sponge dauber and just put a little bit of Cajun Craze ink on the stamp in the center, and then I stamped it. So I've got kind of burnt oranges happening in the center, moving out to the more orange. And then I stamped my thanks. Again, it's from Biggest Wish. I stamped it in Cajun Craze, then I cleaned my stamp, inked it in Pumpkin Pie and stamped again just slightly to the right of where I'd gone before. And again, because they're photopolymer stamps, you can see what you're doing, so that's fairly easy to do. So that's just kind of given me a bit of a highlight on that. And then I've just stamped the dahlia inside. So I'm going to do something similar, but as I say, with a bit of a twist for this next one. I've changed colours. So this time I have a Merry Merlot card base. I've got a layer that is early espresso, and then another piece which is white. So same card base size as before, 8 inches by 5 3/4, scored at 4. My contrast card layer is 4 3/8 of an inch by 3 1/8 of an inch, and the layer I'm going to stamp on is 4 1/4 by 3 inches. Then my insert's just my standard insert, 5.5 by 3 3/4. All right, if you need those back, let me know. So I'm going to stamp the flower first of all. Actually, I'm not. I think I'll stamp my base first, having told you that. Stamp the base first. All right, so I've got my Merry Merlot ink. And I have my stamps here. Now, just a tip for you. I don't know if you can see. If it's easier, let me put it on some white. That's probably easier to see. I've got a little black Sharpie dot on that stamp, and one on this stamp as well. So when you get these, although they don't have to be lined up absolutely perfectly when you stamp this one over that one to colour them, because, you know, a little bit of approximation is absolutely fine. It is easier if you have some idea of where you're going. So with the stamps in the box, and if you've already got these and taken them out of the box, just put them back in and match the image inside exactly. And then just pop a dot. It doesn't matter where you put it, but let's say you put it up here at 12 o'clock, just on, I put it on the back of my stamp. And then put a dot on this coloured in image in exactly the same position. So depending on which petals you picked, or between two petals, put it in exactly the same size, exactly the same place. And then when you're wanting to stamp the outline followed by the colouring in stamp, you just note where that black dot is. So here, for instance, it would be at 12 o'clock. So then when I come to stamp the image to colour it in, I make sure that black dot's also at 12 o'clock, and I know they're going to line up. So I hope that made sense. It's something that I do with lots of these kinds of stamps. So I'm just re-inking the outline stamp each time and stamping it around the edge of my card. The middle part doesn't need to be stamped because the white card is going to go over that. I will just have to keep an eye on the spacing as I work my way up to the top, because I just want to make sure that I don't have either a gap or a lot of an overlap. But I think if I just, there we go, that last one will just fill the gap in. So that's my card base ready. Then I'm going to bring in my smaller piece of white card. There we go. I'm going to stamp the outline in Merry Merlot again. I've still got my foam mat underneath because these are, of course, photopolymer stamps again. I'm going to stamp that in the centre. And then this is the shading stamp. I'm going to ink this with Merry Merlot, stamp it off once just to remove some of the ink, and then with it up at 12 o'clock again, because that's how I had the outline, I'm going to colour in my outline image. There you go. So that's my stamped piece, all but the sentiment, which I'm going to do now. So this time I thought I would do Happy Birthday, and I'm going to use the 2 script stamps this time. And actually I've just inked that with Merlot, but you know, I think I'm going to bring in some espresso instead, just to pull that colour onto my stamped panel. Okay, put that there, and as birthday, and I'm just kind of playing with the positioning just to try to fit it all on. There we go. And then I said I was going to do something a little bit different with this one, so I've just got a piece of scrap card here. So I'm going to re-stamp my Dahlia outline. Again, put that black dot up at 12 o'clock. Then I'm going to take the one to colour it in, ink it again with Merry Merlot, stamp it off, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of espresso to the centre with a finger dauber. I'm not trying to get a perfect circle, so I haven't gone straight down like that to get a circle. I've just dabbed it around. And now, because some of that ink might be a little bit dry, I'm just going to huff on the stamp and then line this up, colour in my stamp, we go. All right, so I'm going to try Belinda's tip and slowly move this towards the camera and see if that improves the focus on it. Hoping that's better. I'm still not very good at getting this to where it needs to be, but hopefully you can see that darker ink in the center. So what I'm going to do next is cut out some of that center part of my flower. So cut off and discard that, and I'm just looking at my flower and I'm just going to cut out a center portion like that. So this is decoupage basically. If you've ever done this before, you'll know exactly what I'm doing. Belinda said I was just a fraction too close, but definitely better. Thank you, Belinda. Belinda is my photography guru. And I have a lot to learn. There we are. So it doesn't really matter which petals you snip off and which petals you retain. And if I was doing another one of these, it would probably turn out different to this one. I'm not sure. There's a long petal here. I'm going to leave it on, but I might snip it off in a minute. But I'm just going to have a flower that is a little smaller than the first one that I stamped. And then I can add this on top and it will add dimension to my card. Because if you've ever seen a dahlia, you know that you've got all those fabulous layers of petals. And they are a really dimensional flower. They're almost spherical, some of them. So I'm nearly there. One of my next projects has got fussy cutting on it, and I have actually done that in advance, so you won't have to watch me fussy cut again, but I thought it might be helpful to watch me do this just so you can see what I'm doing. Let me pop that back on there. So you can see that I've just cut out the center part. It's not a perfect circle or anything, and it doesn't need to be. What I'm going to do now then is lay this on top, matching the stamping. So that's the same way round, the same orientation as my dahlia that's down the bottom. And I'm just going to pull in some dimensionals. There we go. And I'm also going to find my bone folder and just shape this just a little bit. So I'm just pulling the card between my thumb and the edge of my bone folder just to add a little bit of a curl to it. And then I'll pop some dimensionals on the back. So Belinda's saying that she thinks the dahlia set is really lovely. It's a good Sale-a-Bration bargain and worth getting while you can. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's one of those stamp sets that I think you can reach for again and again. It's lovely for birthday cards. I personally think dahlias even work for cards for men. I think they work for sympathy cards if you change your colours a little bit. It's really a lovely, lovely stamp set. I do like it so much. There, so let's try again. Let's see if I can do this a little bit better. I think that's not quite so close. Some hands are shaking. I'm hoping that you can see the detail on that, and if I turn it as well, hoping you can see the dimension on it. I'm still struggling to get this to focus, I think. But you're all bearing with me very, very patiently, so thank you for that. Glad you like that idea, Marjorie. And of course it will work with all kinds of other stamped images as well. It doesn't just work with this Dahlias set. Anything which has got kind of sections in the stamped image, you can stamp them again, colour them in and snip them out and then add them on top. And you can do more than one layer. I've just got my basic layer and then one layer added on top, but you can do lots of layers if you want to make something really dimensional. And then I'll add this on top like that. So that's my card front. So I'll now take my insert, stamp my happy birthday again. Oops, haven't inked that very well. I think that's better. And then I'm just going to add the dahlia outline onto the bottom. There we are. So that's ready to go into my card. Got an envelope for it somewhere as well. While I've got that inky stamp out, I'm just going to stamp the envelope. Sometimes I stamp the front. This time I think I'm going to stamp the envelope flap. So I've opened it up because otherwise I'll be stamping across an uneven surface. And that will give me a gap. So although I would get the whole dahlia on, I would have a gap in my stamping. There we are. So that's my envelope flap. Thank you, Belinda. I'm glad you like that idea. And I do like an idea that will work with lots of different sets as well. There we are. So that is my completed card. Let me bring back the other one as well. I'm just going to drink some of my tea while you have a chance to have a look at that. I'm also going to clean my stamps. Although I'm not using these again, if I leave them all inky on my table, I can guarantee I'm going to lean on them either with my front or my arms, and then who knows where that ink's going to end up. Believe me, this is the voice of experience talking. Now, did I give you the measurements for this? I can't remember if I did. Just in case I didn't, let me pop them there. 8 inches by 5 3/4 for your card base, scored at 4 inches. The contrast card layer is 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. The stamped layer is 4 1/4 by 3 inches, and the insert is 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay, Jan, lovely. Welcome, welcome. So you're saying that you're new to this. Where can you buy the set? And you're impressed and will tune in every Friday from now on. Well, I'm delighted to hear that, Jan, and you're most welcome here. So First of all, this set is a set which is being given away free with a qualifying purchase. So there's a promotion on at the moment. So this set and the one that I used before with the circles and oblongs are both free sets. So if you spend £90, you can get this set for free, but you can't buy it on its own, I'm afraid. However, there are lots of other sets that you can buy on your own. So I would be really happy to help you either to get these dahlias or to get anything else that you're interested in, and I would be happy to chat to you on the phone. I can send you paper catalogues if you're happy for me to have your address, or you can see everything that's on offer on my website, and I'll jot my website down in just a sec. It's always helpful to know whether you've done much paper crafting before or whether you're new to it, because that helps me gauge what things are going to work best for you, because I certainly want you to get good results right from the beginning. So there's a lot in there. Let me pop down on here. I usually have a little thing with my details on, and I don't know what I've done with that. Blame me being on holiday. So you can send me a message on Messenger, or you can email me. I'm happy to get in touch with you by phone if you'd like to chat to me on the phone, or we can just chat via email. So my email address is handmade@home, all one word, at hotmail.co.uk. And my website is Sally Bowman, that's me, Sally Bowman. I'm about to put an at, sallybowman.stampin up. So that's stamping without the G on the end, up, because that's the brand of all the products I use, .stampinup.net. And that's dreadful, isn't it? You can't read that. Let me write it again. Sally Bowman .stampinup.net. Okay, let's cross that out. Gosh, I'm so professional today. So you can get hold of me there. You can see details of my classes. I don't know where you're based, but I do teach classes as well. You can see all the items online there, and you can also contact me via my website as well. So I'd be really happy to chat to you virtually or in real life. Help you get things that you're going to absolutely love crafting with, and you're ever so welcome here. So I hope that's helpful. You give me a thumbs up and a smiley face. So I'm very pleased to have that. Thank you, Jan. I always use the Stampin' Up products. I sell them. You can't buy them in the shops. You can only get them through somebody like me. And the reason for that is that I can make sure that you get what you need and you know exactly how to use it. There is nothing worse, I think, than spending good money on things and then finding they don't do what you hoped they would do, and you can't get good results. There we go. Let's pop that there. All right, I'm just going to reach down to the floor for my very last set of bits and pieces. And this is going to be using the Penguin paper. So that's another free Sale-a-Bration item. I expect most of you have seen it. But this is the Sale-a-Bration brochure. So here's a little picture. Once again, you can get this pack of paper free with a £45 purchase of other items. And it does coordinate with the Penguin bundle that's in the main catalogue, and I'm just paging through to find that to show you now. There we go. So in the July to December catalogue, there's this Penguin Place bundle on page 33. So you've got this lovely stamp set here where you can build a penguin of all kinds. You can even give them little reindeer antlers. There's a punch which will punch out your penguin bits and pieces so that you can make little punched paper penguins and apply them. As always, when you buy the bundle of stamps and a punch, when it first comes out, you can save 10%. So if you want them both, do use this code here and make sure that you save your 10%. So the stamps and the punch are £29.50. So if you add to that some card, some ink pads, anything else actually that you fancy, get it up to £45 and then you can get this pack of paper. And if I move this along and show you, you can see that the images on the paper, you can punch them out with that same penguin punch. And then you can fussy cut out with your scissors other of these little winter animal images, add them with the background paper, and the whole lot just works beautifully together. Now I haven't got the penguin stamps and I haven't got the penguin punch. I've got a lot of other things, but I haven't got those. So what I'm going to show you now is done solely using the paper. So it does give you lots of ideas. So if you wanted to spend your £45 on other things, you could still choose the penguin paper and make some really cute Christmas cards. Those of you who know me know that I haven't really done very much at all for Christmassy projects just yet. It's just a little bit too early for me. I like to wait until a little bit nearer Christmas, but you know, they are Christmas penguins, and so I thought, yes, I'm going to do something Christmassy. So I've got a card to make with you, and then I've got one more to show you. I have no idea what the time is. I'm really hoping to get a new strap put on my watch this weekend. So if anybody knows what time it is, would you mind telling me? I'd be very grateful. I can't tell the time from either my phone or my iPad while I'm doing this, because all those bits of information have disappeared. So a time check would be super helpful. All right, let me move that out of the way. And I'm also going to remove my foam mat because the stamping I'm doing will be with red rubber stamps, so I don't need that extra cushioning. Thank you so much, Belinda. Just gone 10 to 3. Okay, so I'm not doing too badly for time. All right, so the card that I thought I would make with you now is this one. It's got a happy little penguin in a winter hat, because why not? And a little 3D Christmas tree here, which will fold flat for posting. So the paper that my tree is made from, the background paper, and my little penguin here, these are all from the free Sale-a-Bration paper. So I'm going to make a very similar version, but I've just got a slightly different background paper. This is my favourite background paper from that free pack. And I've done the fussy cutting, so I have picked the same happy little penguin because his hat matches that paper so nicely. And I'm going to show you how to make one of these dimensional trees. So I have made one ready just to speed up proceedings, but I will show you how I did it. So this is another of the free papers from that pack. You can see on the back it's got some of the little Arctic creatures. And I've got the pine tree punch here. This is in the annual catalogue. And I'm just going to punch out 3 trees. Actually, I'm not going to do them that way or they're going to be upside down. Let me trim off this jagged edge. There we are. Now I can punch them with my trees the right way up. So Belinda's saying the white velvet paper works really well with the penguins. She doesn't have her catalogue in front of her now, so she can't recall its proper name. No, but I know what you mean, Belinda. I can look that up in a minute. Yes, it would make lovely snowy backgrounds for them to be dancing around on or sliding on. So I'm just going to punch out 3 tree shapes in tree paper. And now I've done that, I'm just going to quickly look in my catalogue. If I go to the index at the back, I should be able to find the proper name for that paper very quickly. Here we go. It's called Snowy White Velvet Sheets. Yeah. And they're 12-inch square sheets of velvet textured paper. They're beautiful. You can die cut them, you can stamp on them, and you can make little snow scenes. So now I've got my 3 tree shapes, and I'm going to fold them in half, right sides together. Now, these trees are not symmetrical. So when I fold them in half, I'm not getting an exact match of these branches here. They're not symmetrical because that makes for a much more interesting tree when you use it flat like that. But that's okay. I'll show you what I do to put that right. So you're going to fold all 3 of these in half. The trunk is just a little bit fiddly. You could score these, but because it's only paper and they're only small, I tend not to bother. But I do use my bone folder on them. And then when they're all folded, I'm going to stick them together to give me this dimensional tree that will also fold flat for posting. Okay, so I've got my right sides to the center, and then all I'm going to do is glue them back to back. I'm just going to glue 2 of these because I'm aware of time marching on. In theory, I do this for about an hour. I always overrun, but I don't want to overrun by an hour. There we are. So I'm just sticking those 2 back to back like that. And then I will stick my 3rd one back to back as well, like that. So I'll end up with 3 of them looking like that. And to get over the fact that they are not actually symmetrical, so when I stick the left hand side of this cutout tree to the right hand side of that one, I don't suppose you can see, but just here I've got some bits that don't fit, so I can actually see the purple back behind showing. So all I'm doing is just snipping those bits off, just so I haven't got any purple bits that don't look right. And then I just check this one, I've just got a little bit of pale purple there. Let's just snip that out. So that's all I do to effectively make my trees fit together better. All right, so then to complete the card, quick and easy, I've got my standard card base here. I've picked Fresh Freesia card because that is the same colour as on the paper, the same colour as his little hat. Then I have a black layer, so my card base is 8 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored at 4 inches. And this black layer is 5 1/2 inches by 3 3/4 inches. I will pop down the bit of paper for you in a moment with the measurements actually written on it, in case you want to jot them down and you haven't got shorthand. I haven't got shorthand either. Okay, so you can see on the back of the paper I've got more little winter creatures, but we're not going to see those this time because I'm going to use the purple side. And my pattern paper is 5 3/8 inches high by 3 5/8 inches wide, so it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller all round than the black. That just gives me a really narrow black border. I don't want that black to become oppressive because it's a Christmas card after all, but it does throw the colours into sort of contrast really nicely. So now I'm going to stamp this little piece of Fresh Freesia card with my Happy Christmas, and this is 3/4 of an inch wide by 3 5/8. So it's 3/4 that way and 3 5/8 of an inch that way, which is the same width as the paper. So I've got Happy Christmas, I've got Memento black ink, just stamp that on there, and the Happy Christmas is from the Happy Holidays set, so it's those words there. You can use anything on there. And then I'm going to add that onto some black card. This little piece of black again is just 1/8 of an inch wider all round than the Freesia strip is, so it's 7/8 wide by 3 3/4 inches across. And I'm going to pop this down towards the bottom and add my words on top. Just a reminder that if you want to go back and watch this again, then of course you can. It will sit here on my Facebook page. I will also upload it to YouTube after this, and I've got a whole playlist there of every single live session I've done over the past nearly a year now. So you'll be able to watch all of those on my YouTube channel, which is also called Handmade at Home with Sally Bowman. So now I've got my little dimensional tree. I've opened it up, so these two bits here are single ply. These two here are double, so I've got two bits stuck together there. So I've just got my single layers here, and I'm just going to put some glue on the back there. And I'm just going to do this one the other way round. I'll put the tree on the right this time, just to make it slightly different. There we are. And you can see that that will fold flat to post, and then it will perk up again once it arrives at its destination. And here I've got my little penguin, looking very excited because it's Christmas. So you can see that I just cut him out from some of the paper again. So the penguin stamps and punch are absolutely perfect with this paper, but the paper's fantastic even without them. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of bling. I've got some of the in colour jewels here. And I'm going to use the ones that are in fresh freesia just to coordinate. So let's pop one up there as a star on the Christmas tree. And maybe just a couple more down here. Like that, just for a little bit of sparkle, because it is Christmas. And then for my insert, I'm going to stamp the Happy Christmas again. And this little penguin, again, I've cut from the paper, but he was on the bottom of the sheet, so he's kind of been cut off, but you can still use those pieces. So I'm just going to have him popping up at the bottom just for fun, really. Like that. And then that will go inside my card. My insert is 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. There we go. So that's that one, that's that one. The same but different. I'll give you a moment just to look at those while I drink some of my tea. And I've got one more card just to show you using this same paper. I'll put the measurement sheet there as well. Still got that cable going across. I don't know. I don't seem very organised today, do I? Okay. All right, so that's those. But then if you want a really special card, let me show you this one. Now, part of being a Stampin' Up demonstrator that I really love is the chance to get together with other people and use their ideas to craft with. And I was at a virtual crafting session recently, and this was one of the things that we did. So I didn't design this card, although I did make it, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. So this uses the same papers on the front. You can see I've layered them. You've seen both of these patterns. This little polar bear is cut from one of them. The Noel is from this same Happy Holidays stamp set. I just stamped it on white card and then cut around the letters. And then when you open it, we have a little festive scene with woodland creatures. Let me show you it standing up as well. So we've got 2 little boxes which are inserted and lots of creatures which I have cut from the paper. So we've got foxes and polar bears, there's a snowman, there's penguins. So I do really like this. It's a lovely fancy fold card. It's a really nice surprise when you open it. I've got space here to write on. And all the papers to make it are the free ones. So that's got to be good. I'm glad you like it, Marjorie. Thank you. It was a lot of fun to make. So let me bring back everything that I've made today. Pop those up. Put that there. So thank you, Belinda, and thank you, Gillian. I'm glad you liked that. Let me pop my contact details there too, messy though they are. Okay, so free items then, free paper, free double stamp set, free single stamp set. If you need any further information on how to get hold of these, please let me know. I've got another week on holiday. I am looking at my emails every couple of days, so I will reply to you even though I'm on holiday, but it may take me a little bit longer than usual, so bear with me on that. But yes, so I'm a little slower than I normally would be. I won't be here next Friday, so I'm very sorry, and I'm especially sorry for you, Jan, if you've just found me that I won't be here next week, but I am taking 1 week off from this. But if you need more inspiration, go to my YouTube channel, Handmade at Home with Sally Bowman. You can see loads and loads and loads of my Friday sessions there, and I will be back here again on the 24th, so not next Friday, but the Friday after. If you've enjoyed the video, it really helps me if you can hit that share button as well as the like or love buttons. Thank you so much, because that helps me get seen by other people that might not find me otherwise. So I'm just very quickly going to turn the camera back up so I can say a proper goodbye to you. Let's see if I can do this without incident. Cover you over just so I hopefully don't make you feel sick. Okay, let's just take the reverse setting off. Okay, so I'm hoping that I'm there. I think I am. Wait for my iPad to catch up. It's been lovely to spend some time on a Friday with you again. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward very much to seeing you a fortnight today. Have a great weekend, won't you? Bye-bye. Okay, now all I need is the off switch. There we go. Bye-bye.